This is a short tutorial to help employees navigate in the electronic time card. And just to emphasize, there are options, different options for recording your time. One being the mobile app and the other being the kiosk. And this one is done on your computer. So all three are very valid, and you're encouraged to use the one that's most convenient for you. Or you can use all three combined at different times. It's perfectly fine. First thing we want to do is notice that it looks very much like a regular timesheet, paper and pencil style. Hopefully it's pretty intuitive looking, and you want to learn first time punching in. You click right on that inbox, you type 8A, it understands that means AM, and that's when you got in, and you left at 2:30 P, and you hit save, and that saves your time. If there was any problem with anything you entered, you're going to get a red band here with an error message. This means you have to correct something, which they do come up. They're fairly easy to deal with, but the other thing you can do is, at this point, you may have realized maybe you clocked in on the mobile app or the kiosk, you did so incorrectly. You can go in and say that was not 2:30 at all, that was 3:30, 3:35. And you can edit that punch there so that it is now reflective of what you truly worked. The other thing that I know, there's a lot of Catapult employees that they clock in, they work, then they clock out, and then at some point during that same day they report back to work. So let's just show you how that works. Very similar. (11:30) they leave, they return at 1:30 and work till 4. After you hit save, you can see that those hours are reflected in this column here, and that's always how you can keep track. If they're overtime or overtime second rate or unpaid, you'll see that they would be totaled up, so you can keep ongoing track of those. The other thing we wanted to talk about is exception days or days off. Let's just use a vacation day as an example. You pull that down and you see the different selections, and you then say it's asking you an amount. And in this example, this person's regularly scheduled for 7.5 hours, and that's the amount of hours they'd be charged for a vacation day. Again, hit save, and it is, as you can see, reflected here. You can do the same thing in order to edit that if there was some problem with it, including picking another, if it was sick instead of vacation or whatever. It should be pretty straightforward. I do want to touch on inclement weather and educational leave. Obviously, these are days that that the school, your department designates that way, so you don't have to worry about deciding when to do that. Your manager or supervisor will let you know when you should be coding those days as inclement or as educational leave. One thing I do want to touch on is van driving or one-on-one aid, how to treat that. This is important, a little bit tricky. If you do that regularly, the pay that you earn for doing that is already recorded in web pay. So there's no reason to put anything in here if that's the case. If you don't regularly do that, and let's just say that there was the person who regularly drives the van is unable to do so for any reason, you do, you go in and you say, okay, that afternoon, I drove that van in the afternoon. So you put the 1 in, indicating it was one time, and hit save, and the money that you earned because you did that will be reflected on your check.